Hey guys, I'm Risha.
I'm Ibrahima,
and we're the Mandinka Family. And today we're going to be talking about subdivide within African tribes. Stay tuned.
You be my queen, you be my screensaver. I'll be a king, no be cinema. Diamond, mineral, situation critical. You be my queen, you be my screensaver. I'll be a king, no be cinema. Diamond, mineral, situation critical. Sun kiss your body, glitter, glitter.
All right, guys. So as I mentioned, we're going to be talking about subdividing within African tribes. So, babe, is there subdividing going on with all the tribes here in the Gambia?
Yep.
Really?
It's so damn going on here.
Okay.
You know, between Mandinkas, between the Wolof, between Sarahules, Serils, Jolas, Fulas, Manjagos, you know, all bunch of different tribes, you know. Like, say, for example, in some, if a Mandinka man wants to marry a Sarahule woman, sometimes it becomes a problem. Because, you know, they do not want, you know, they will not want a Sarahule woman to marry a Mandinka man. And sometimes, you know, in the Fulas also, they would want to, they do marry, Mandinkas marry Fulas and Fulas marry Mandinkas, vice versa. A Sarahule man would marry a Mandinka woman and a Mandinka man would marry a Sarahule woman. But sometimes, you know, there are difficulties in it because they would say, oh no, because he's a Mandinka or he's a Jola, he would not marry.
Is it the family that's influencing that?
Yeah, that's
hey, you're not going to marry a Mandinka man.
Yeah, you know, you're gonna stay in your tribe, you know, stuff like that. And not only that, you know, some would say like item junglety, item forality, you know what I mean? Joining for within us as Africans, we call, you know, some of our own brothers and sisters slaves. That is something that's going on here, which I cannot just get it.
How? Like, yeah, that don't even make sense. So basically, I mean, I guess if they say that they think they are higher on a pedestal than
exactly those yeah, because, you know, like those that at time are slaves, you know, would not be imams, they would not be leaders within the community, just, you know, just like that.
So let me ask you this: so like, if some tribes go as far, some people in certain tribes go as far as to say that no, you should not go outside of your tribe, then that also includes non-Africans. Like if they don't want a Mandinka, for example, then they definitely don't want a European.
Like that I cannot answer, and because I don't know about that. But, you know, we are talking within our, you know, within Africans.
Yeah.
So within Africans, you know, what I understand within Africans, that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to logically think, like, okay, if you don't even want, if you're really practicing to be in your own tribe, then that means you don't even want a European. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like you have to have a Sarahule, period.
Yeah. Probably, yeah.
Okay. All right. So, babe, like we had this conversation before. We're open about it. We're open about like all of our past relationships. So, you want to tell the people, like, you know, the experience you've had with the subdivide?
Yeah, like I faced that because, you know, I used to date, you know, a girl, you know, who is a Sarahule, but, you know, like, you know, the relationship didn't really go further because, you know, we knew because of our parents, you know, we wouldn't get married. So, you know, it was, you know, better for us to end that relationship rather than saying continuing. You know, that is something that is definitely, you know, but it's definitely, it was like, you know, it used to be like very, very difficult. But now that, you know, people are getting aware, like, you know, they're having awareness. You know, now they are, you know, minds are getting matured.
Kids are speaking up now.
Yeah, kids are speaking up, you know, and kids will stand up for themselves. You know what I'm saying?
So what happened? What happened with the parents? Tell us that people want to know. Like, what did the parents come to you and say? Hey, get the
no, not the parents. You know, came to me. No, you can't fucking do this and that. No. But they would. From what I understand, I'm like, I'm not gonna just waste my time, stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like, did she come to you and say, hey, my parents don't approve of you?
Well, she did explain it to me. Well, it wasn't easy, but we just say okay to each other.
Yeah. Okay. Now, does it happen like within just friendships, or like someone who is really, you know, practicing tribalism? Do they even go as far as to say like, oh, we not even gonna be friends with other tribes, or do they kind of accept Mandinkas or any other tribes as friends, but not as marrying into the tribe?
Well, some would, you know, definitely have, you know, they would have friends. You have to interact with others. Probably, you know, they wouldn't build a marriage relationship, love relationship, but, you know, friendship relationship, yes, they would definitely do have that. You know, for me, I grew up, you know, within a Wolof community, which is why before I could really speak Wolof frequently. But, you know, as I went back to my Mandinka circle, you know, I became to speak Mandinka more frequently than Wolof.
So when you are around certain tribes, you do feel the influence. You can get more influenced and adapt to that environment, and not really use your you know, your primary tribe until you get around your circle again. Okay.
Yeah, and sometimes, you know, like the Jola tribe, the Jola tribe, the Manjago tribe. Before people tend to look down on them, like your fellow African, looking down on them because of their tribe, you know, like that's, you know, to me, what I believe was that people lack the awareness. That causes that. But the more you upgrade yourself, the more you get you are aware of how you should live your life, rather than having to, you know, some living some life are very primitive. You know what I'm saying? You can't be living a life like that.
Yeah.
You have to associate yourself with people, you know, communicate yourself with people, you know, link up with people.
That's how you learn and expand your mind.
Yeah.
Like, you can't learn but so much from someone who has the same commonalities as you.
Yeah.
You have to be able, I mean, like, just how you English is not even your second language, you know, so you speak Mandinka, then Wolof, then English, you know, so if you only just stuck in your Mandinka circle, you would only know one language. You wouldn't even be able to meet the people in your life that you've met, or learn things from.
I wouldn't even marry you.
We wouldn't be married because we wouldn't be able to communicate. So.
Like, yeah, even like in my family, my brother's wife is a Jola.
Lalia.
Yeah, Lalia is a Jola, and my elder sister is married to a Fuller. You know what I'm saying? So, as you can see, we are kind of interacting, you know, to build that, you know, black love within ourselves.
Now, I'm glad you brought that up. Cause shout out to Lalia, that's my sister-in-law. I love her. So. Lalia, she's the woman marries into the male's family, basically. So she kind of like leaves her family. She comes to her husband's comes into her husband's family, or his compound. So when Lalia, for example, she's a Jola, when she came in, did she primarily has to speak Mandinka? She pretty much took on the Mandinka ways.
No, Lalia, even before she became married to my brother, the community that she lives in has Mandinkas and Jolas within the community.
Okay.
So she kind of, she speaks Mandinka frequently even before she came home.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, there are some women and men who don't, like, who may not speak or be around it frequently. So if they, like, for example, if a woman is not around Mandinkas, but then she marries a Mandinka, then she has to pretty much adjust to that, the Mandinka way of life.
Yeah, but pretty much kind of you have to adjust, you know, into the life of, if you want to like, say for example, if you want to come into someone's life, you have to kind of adapt their system and understand their level of you have to understand how they live their life, and I'm saying, to be able to kind of fit in. But if you don't, you know, it will be hard for you to fit in.
Gotcha.
Is there a subdivide within Africans in the diaspora?
Absolutely, yeah. That we do subdivide. I mean, and I think this is like a global thing with just people of African descent, and I do feel like it is because of the non-Africans, which is why we have that type of mindset in the diaspora per se. But absolutely, there is subdivide within like African people in America. So, you know, we had the East versus West Coast, like, you know, like even with gangs, there's a lot of like gangs in America, and you could literally live 10 minutes from each other, but if you're not from, you could be one person's from 10th Street and another person's from 1st Street. But like there's only 9 streets in between y'all. If I'm from 1st and you're from 10th, I'm like, oh fuck 1st Street or fuck 10th Street, and you know you doing it vice versa. You know what I mean? Like we don't even like each other over streets that we don't own. You know, we just grew up there. We're not even from this place. We're from Africa, but because we grew up there and you're not from where I'm from, like, oh no, we can't fuck with them people over there because they stupid. Like, they just have a mindset kind of like that. Like, it's a developed mindset.
So, but do you do they like say that, you know, well, I'm not gonna marry him or her because he's from the East Coast or West Coast, something like that?
That's a good question. I mean, I just know, like, in general, like, you know, if you from this side, like if you live like in the what's called the hood, where it's kind of like rough growing up, and it's a lot of, you know, crime per se, but it's not so much of I'm not gonna marry a person from there. It's just in general, if you from where? Oh nah, I don't fuck with y'all or whatever. Like, it's like rivalries. I've never heard someone say I'm not gonna marry you because you're from the East Coast. Now there are people that you know, people do recognize the differences, like, you know what I mean? So, like, for example, a dude from New York, like, I'm from North Carolina, so I'm from what's considered the South, or the southeastern part of the United States. So, we're considered Southern girls. We have, like, a strong little country accent, and then up in New York, they talk like, hey, mom, what's up? Sometimes
what it do?
Yeah. Well, what it do? Yeah, that's kind of like a Southern term. But yeah, like we all have different cultures, just like every country here has a different culture. Yeah. So like you could hear New Yorker be like, oh yeah, I love shorties from down south, man. Y'all got that Southern accent or that fat ass, or you know, that's kind of how they like, you know, generalize us depending on where we're from in the U.S. So I mean, yeah, there's people that do. I know some people from up north that get married to people down south, or East Coast get married to someone from West Coast or whatever. But the subdividing still exists, and it exists in a lot of different forms, not just like where you're from. It could also be based off like, I'm going to go as far as to say this because it's ridiculous how much we subdivide as people of African descent. Like, I recently learned, now I have a couple of gay friends, and like one of my friends was telling me that like, you know, there's gay, you could be gay, lesbian, and then you could be bisexual. Well, sometimes there's subdivides between them. Like, sometimes gays and lesbians may separate themselves from bisexuals because they'll call them like, oh, they're two-faced. They don't know what they want. They want both, so they don't know what they want. So I'm staying away from them. So sometimes, like, even in like the gay community, they will separate themselves or subdivide. Not everybody, but it happens. The subdividing happens. So I think, you know, that's something that is connected. Like, you know, people on the continent separating themselves because of tribes, and then people, you know, the black people in the West separating themselves based on what address they grew up on or whatever. And so it's much deeper history than that, but it is crazy. So like, do you do any subdividing within African tribes?
Like that what I've just explained here. You know, here it's definitely going on here. It's definitely going on here. People do something like that, but you know, the awareness, to me, I think that's what is lacking. You can't say, oh, he's a Mandinka, he's a Wolof, he's a Jola, I'm not gonna marry him. You know, to me, we are all one, we are all the same. You know, we say for the Gambia, our homeland, we strive and work and pray. That's what we said. You know, we don't say Jola land, Mandinka land, Setahule land. You know, we say for the Gambia, our homeland, So we bound together, we stick together, you know. That's what I believe in.
Yeah. And also there's a difference between tribalism and taking pride in your tribe. Like, we call ourselves the Mandinka family, like, and we are proud to be Mandinkas. And I say I'm Mandinka because I'm married to one, therefore I'm married in his family, and I will learn the ways of his of his tribe's way of life. And also the kids that I have from him are going to be Mandinka men and women. So therefore we're Mandinka, and everyone should be openly proud to be whatever tribe they're from. So, like, you know, hey, we're the Mandinka family. Like, that's a beautiful thing, because we set ourselves apart from other tribes. Like, we have something different. Every tribe has something different to offer, and we should be proud as Mandinkas of what we offer. Okay. Same for Serahule, Jola, Wolof, woman or man. Y'all all have different ways of life. It even goes down to different dances.
Like, you know? It goes down to, remember when you tell me, hey babe, we're gonna name our channel after the Mandinka family, and I told you, hey babe, nah, we cannot do that,
you
because
said, no, that's tribalism.
Yeah, people will find. No, I didn't say tribal. I would say people will find that as if we are tribalists. You know, that's why we name our shit after Mandinka. You know, stuff like that. But it's not that. You know, I came to realize that, you know, that's what we love to name our channel after, and that is what we are. Right. If we are not proud of ourselves as Mandinkas, what are we going to be proud of?
Yeah. And if you're Jola, Wolof, Serahule, and any other tribe, you need to be proud of your tribe and represent your tribe. It doesn't mean that we think our tribe's better than yours. It just means that every tribe is different, and y'all all have something as beautiful Black people to bring to the table of Africa. Yeah,
and me and my wife are working on it to do like these cultural activities in the Gambia, because we represent Mandinka, but we represent the whole of Gambia and Africa and the whole of diaspora at large. That's what we represent. So we were doing, like, traditional cultural events, from Mandinka to Wolof to Jola to Manjago to Aku. It's coming up.
All right, guys. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this conversation. Of course, continue the conversation in the comments and even at home. And, like, the diasporas, let the Gambians in the comments know what it's like, how we subdivide in the West, and vice versa. Gambians, let the diasporans know how like other ways that subdividing with the African tribes go on here in West Africa. Because, the conversation, needs to be talked about. Once it's addressed and we can begin to have, conversations with each other and have compassion, about it, then we can begin to learn things and be like, okay, open your mind more to it. And I'm glad that the younger generation is now opening their eyes and their mind to, to be one Africa. As
rather than saying I'm a Mandinka, I'm a Wolof, I'm a Jola. From the number one thing we should be proud of, we are Africans. We have that melanin in us, but so we should be proud of also
be proud to be African and be proud to be part of your tribe, represent your tribe. I'm not like individuality is very important, because if we were all the same, we would be boring. It would be a boring life on earth. So, like, shout out to the Jola, Serahules, Manjagos, the Mandinkas, like all of y'all.
Wolof, Serahule, Jola, Manjago, Aku, Balanta, all of them tribes.
Shout out to all of y'all. Y'all all bring something beautifully different to this world. All of y'all are inhabitants and first inhabitants of Mother Earth. So we love y'all as African people. All right, guys. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this conversation. Go ahead and continue it and let us know your thoughts. How can they reach us, babe?
The Mandinka Family on Facebook, and also the Mandinka Family on IG. You can send us an email on themandinkaFamily@gmail.com.
All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed. And as always, don't forget,
Black love is Black power.
See you guys.